What up, what up, what up? Who that? It is game day on this special edition Sunday morning Down South Sports Fanatics. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Dave Robin, the voice himself. What's up, boy?
Hey, what's going on, Richie? What's going on, Fatty? Good morning,
You ready?
man.
We need this one.
It's a must, dude. This could be one of those, big moments in the season, man. Really, let's be real.
We got to get it going. We can't look. They're depleted. That secondary for New England is depleted. There's no way we should be able to pass the ball today.
Yeah, dude, Christian Gonzalez, their rookie corner's out. They just traded to get J.C. Jackson back. The one thing for them that's positive with that is, he played there for a while, so he could come right in and, like they say, a plug and play right into the defense. But, dude, to me, maybe the biggest loss is Matthew Judon, man. He's out.
Yeah.
He's their best guy up front, man, their best pass rusher,
That's a good thing for Penning and Ramczyk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're a little banged up. No Andrews Pete. We got no Lonnie Johnson. We got a couple of injuries, but dude, it's more significant on their end for sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna. I think they're gonna. It's gonna be hard to run the ball on Belichick. Of course, his defenses are always stout against the run. So I think we're gonna have to do a lot more passing today. I was shocked. Juwan Johnson was on the injury report too. I didn't see that coming.
Now, was that Richard? Was that last part?
Juwan Johnson was on the injury report this week.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Man, maybe something's going on there. Remember, last week, Taysom was pretty much running all the snaps at tight end almost. We were pretty banged up, so I guess it carried over to this week, man. My bad. I'm dealing with the wind, dude. It's beautiful outside, but the wind's kind of messing with my.
Good. We can hear you.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think they need to feed the ball to Kamara today.
They should. Look, you heard about that too, Fatty. I think you got to get somebody posted on Facebook this morning. When was the last time Alvin Kamara had a 100-yard game? And I couldn't think about it myself. It feels like between him and Taysom, dude, they got to establish some kind of running game. Kendrick Miller as well.
I want to say it's been over 2 years since he's had a 100-yard rushing game.
Hang on, I got a plane going overhead, man. My bad, dude.
No,
Y'all keep going.
I couldn't tell you when he had a touchdown last.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess you want to get him involved, but you really don't want to force it. If stuff's there, you got to take it. But But I agree with Fatty. The play calling should be designed around Kamara. Especially, the catching out the backfield stuff. The rushing, all that stuff needs to be involved. And I think, I haven't seen. What's crazy to me is I know the first 2 weeks you've seen Shareed involved in a lot of plays. I haven't seen him involved in offense that much lately.
Well, it's like I said on the show last week. He gets locked in on one play the whole game, and that's it.
Yeah.
I got to see more. I got to see just better. Look, let's be real. We knew nothing was going to happen that last week. We kept talking about all the rumblings about, who's going to get fired. Is Pete Carmichael gone? They weren't going to do anything Kamara's first game back, and with Carr coming off a soft week of practice, being 50-50 for the game.
Yeah.
I think now the excuses are out the window. You're playing a team that's not very good. Look, you're on the road, sure, but, dude, the conditions are great out there. It's, around 60 degrees, I think, around kickoff.
Beautiful weather.
Yes, it's perfect football weather. There's no excuses. Mac Jones is struggling. Him and Carr right now are kind of in that same boat. Their QB rating is like what I believe coming into this game. Ramondre Stevenson came in a little out of shape. He's got a thigh issue. He's probably their best player on offense. Zeke, I'm not too worried about Zeke. If Zeke runs for 100 yards on us, we don't deserve to do anything this year. Their receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster and, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne. Those guys don't scare me, man. They don't. This is a game we should win.
We saying this is a must-win. Would you say this is really games going to really decide where our team stands this season right now?
You can't lose. If you lose this game and you look poor doing it, somebody's getting fired. This is the week something happens if depending on the outcome on this game, man. I mean, this might be a job saving game for somebody.
We all keep saying and we keep emphasizing it's the play calling.
Hang on, man. The flights are going, my bad, dude. The flights are going overhead again, man. That's all bad about Kenner and outside, man.
We can hear you fine. Don't worry about it.
This is a pop-up show.
I got to get the headphones going when I come out here, man.
But no,
my bad, dude. It's like that. Now I'm good. I'm good now.
What I mean by that, like we blame it on play call. We blame it on Dennis Allen. We blame it on this, that. At some point, we got to say, listen, this is just not a good team.
Oh, no. I mean, the players have to be accountable. Absolutely, dude. That was bad effort all around, man, last week. I mean, I think there was bad coaching. There was bad play. Nobody did. There wasn't many guys giving a star performance in last week's game. I mean, go find me somebody that really, knocked it out the park. I mean, there wasn't many.
Yeah, it wasn't many at all, man. So I think, look at the weather. Ooh, there's some pretty weather out there.
66 is the high.
66. So they ain't got no excuses, man. The weather, the conditions are going to be nice. You're on the road. You're going against a team. Their defense is depleted. They got nothing going on the offense. Our defense, I tell you what, I'm going to be I don't care. Look, if we use the excuses today, the defense on the future, if they make Mac Jones look good today, we got problems.
I don't think it's the defense you got to look at. It's Derek Carr. I mean,
you're not understanding what I'm saying, Fatty. I don't care if you don't have an offense. I get it, but play defense. Stop somebody.
But they have been playing defense.
No,
they giving them no help
last week.
Well, I don't put the Packers game on them so much. I think the defense played a lot better in that Green Bay game than what they did this last game. The Tampa game, this is their worst performance of the season on defense.
We're talking about Baker Mayfield, Dave. Baker Mayfield.
But you're not giving your defense nothing to get motivated.
I don't care. I don't care.
But you got
you look at with the Jets. I mean, look. Here's my thing about the defense.
Pretty good.
Huh?
What's that? Now, I agree with the defense being on the field too much. I mean, we saw that in the second half. Jameis couldn't move the ball in that Green Bay game, and then we saw it this past game. Carr struggled. And, you couldn't move the ball. You couldn't stay on the field offensively, and the defense was out there more often. So I agree with that part of it, but you got to play better. I mean, we're talking about –
they addressed that. They said a defensive player said that last week. He said, I don't care if I'm on the field 25 times or I'm on the field 100 times. It's our job to play defense and to stop the opposing offense.
Yeah, he said that in front of the cameras.
Yeah, but I
don't believe in that tired stuff. I don't. These are well-conditioned athletes. I'm sorry.
Look, but Richie, here's my thing. I think as the game goes on, I could understand with fatigue in the second half. But this week, last week we saw a dude, Rachaad White, who's not a very good running back, it's only his second year, but this guy hasn't done much up to this point. And he was just running, right through our defense in the first half of this game. Mike Evans, like you said, was eating up Lattimore early on. He had the 2 catches, had a PI.
That's what I'm saying.
Chris Godwin was getting mismatched with linebackers, who's one of the best receivers in the league, in my opinion. It was poorly strategized on defense, and you had piss poor effort. You were getting no pressure on Mayfield.
What I'm trying to say, if they make Mac Jones look good today, I don't care what the situation is on offense. This is a bad – New England has a bad offense. One of the worst offenses in the league.
Look, Richie, I don't see how their receivers will get any separation from our guys. I tell you, Ramondre Stevenson, if it's not Ramondre Stevenson, I'm keeping an eye on like Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki, the tight ends. Because, dude, there's no way their top 3 receivers match up against our top 3 corners at all, dude. This is one of the worst receiving groups in the league.
Listen, our defense is supposed to be so good, and their offense is so bad, Dave. If we put 10 points on the board, I feel comfortable we should win that game.
And Mac Jones, dude, he's been a disaster. Let's be real. He's been very up and down. I just think, speaking of quarterbacks, we got to get better play from Carr, but the offense has to stay on the field. So, back to what Fatty was saying, you need that running game. You need that time of possession a little bit. You need to keep Mac Jones off the field.
Answer my question here. We keep saying that the defense is tired. Well, what if the offense is on the field the majority of the time? Why are they not tired?
I think it's funny now, Richie. I agree with what you're saying. I think the running game, the biggest thing to me where a defense tires as the game goes on is with the running game. You know what I mean? It's more physical. It's a little more punishment.
But you got linemen. You're running the ball on offense. Why the linemen on the offense ain't tired?
Defense, I guess just that reactionary. Defense, you're backpedaling in the corners. You're getting into position sometimes. You're getting blocked. You're getting hit a little more. It's funny, but that's just the narrative of football. Defense is wear down in the second half.
But would you agree with me? It's a weird analogy that we can say the offense could be on the field the whole time and not get tired, but the defense on the field the whole time.
My thing about it, okay, so like when I say about keeping the offense off the field, I'm not scared of Mac Jones, but when you keep him off the field, you're basically okay. So let's say we get like Drew Brees was classic for these 7-8 minute drives where we go score a touchdown. You keep that other quarterback off the field. When he gets out there, he's maybe a little more, feisty, a little more antsy as far as trying to get something going. And that, you can force a mistake that way. I mean, you've been sitting on a bench for 7 or 8 minutes of clock, and you go see a team, go score a touchdown on you.
I'm going to give you credit. I'm going to give you credit. I just looked up time of possession from last week, and Tampa Bay had it 2 more minutes than the Saints. It was 31.
Yeah, but look at the week before, Fatty. Look at the week before. Green Bay owned the clock.
Listen. Stop doing what we're doing. It's still Baker Mayfield, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, Richie, he's playing better. Richie, I would say this. And I know we always get into this. I mean, honestly, dude, right now, he's not playing too bad. I mean, it's funny. Baker's a guy, he's like the reverse Winston treatment, if you ask me, like as far as local Saints fans that do agree with Winston as a potential starter in this league. Mayfield has put up pretty decent numbers. He's gotten his team to the playoffs before. This guy, I mean, on paper, he's significantly better than Jameis Winston in his career, but yet he's kind of a joke. I think he's the kind of guy, if he was in a Saints uniform and it was Winston in the other uniform, I think people would feel a lot different. But Baker's not a terrible quarterback.
I'm glad Fatty brought up the time of possession. Thank you, Fatty, for doing that.
Well, here's the one Dave wanted. It was only a 5-minute difference between Green Bay and the Saints.
Yeah, so it's 5 minutes in the Green Bay game, right?
27 minutes.
Yeah. So it's not that bad. I'm telling you.
So it wasn't that bad. Actually, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, everybody is so focused on Pete Carmichael and this offense, they are losing sight that our defense is not playing up to the standards.
Yeah, but Richie, I mean, I think the defense has more turnovers than Carr has touchdowns.
I get what you're saying.
We're going to game week 4, week 5 now.
I'm telling y'all right now, this defense will not finish in the top 10 this year. I promise you.
I mean, Richie, the funny thing is they got off to a rough start last year. Remember, I think a big part of the thing, too, right now to look at is you're not getting a pass rush, A. B, Marcus May went out. And it's funny because Marcus May was the guy I was a little shaky on last year early on. Him and Matthew got off to a rough start, but he played a lot better down the stretch. And, I mean, May, I think you need May back there. That back end of the defense, it's been a little shaky.
Believe it or not, Dave, I think you're missing Paulson Adebo more than anybody.
You are, man. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, he's a really good corner, dude. I mean, I think Paulson Adebo is a starter on like 25, 27 teams or so in this league. I mean, that dude's a really quality corner. And I mean, dude, you're getting down further into the depth chart in the defensive backfield. Lonnie Johnson out today.
Reason I'm saying this is I had a good talk. He's really, really good guy. I'm not going to say his name, whatever. He's really in depth, and he's a coach. And he said the same thing. He said everybody is so focused on this Saints offense when they're not really seeing the big picture that this defense is not playing that well right now.
No, and like I said, I agree with what Fatty's saying to an extent, but like you said, you got to give me
comparable to past years.
Right.
The defense now. It's not
they're not playing up to that. Neither side's playing up to their potential.
But think again, the offense is probably the worst we've seen it in years.
Chris, no matter what your offense did in the past, we were stout against the run. We're giving up too many rushing yards right now.
Yeah, but the Saints have always been a bend but not break defense.
Now, see, to me, I would say they've been one of the better. Let's be real. The last 5 or 6 years, Saints have been one of the top maybe 5 or 6 defenses in this league.
They'll give up a lot of yards, but they never gave up a lot of points. There's a big difference when you look at it like that.
I mean, the thing that discouraged me the most is Mike Evans didn't even play the whole second half of that game last week, and you had a rookie just tearing your secondary up.
I think the defense they were demoralized. I really believe that because the offense would not give them any time. It's like, okay, you're right back on the field.
I mean, we can't continue. Then we can't. We got to stop using it as an excuse. We do.
Richie, I mean, I'll say this, man. I mean, the players have to be better. And I mean, we've seen things this week from Alvin Kamara. We've heard from Michael Thomas. I mean, look, the players are kind of almost calling themselves out, which I like. I'm big. Look, man, let's be real. It's funny. I was talking to Chris, our other podcast buddy, Knowles, and here's the craziest thing I could come up with this week is look at the Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints right now. 2-2, Houston. Saints are 2-2, but yet it feels like the world's falling apart over here, and they're starting this trend upward. You know what I'm saying? So it's really weird
because Houston
quarterback play.
Houston wasn't expected to be where they're at already.
Well, right. I mean, I think Houston, I mean, let's be real. They've had a little bit of a burst. I mean, C.J. Stroud's playing. I mean, man, right now this kid looks like a top 10 quarterback. I mean, I don't know if he'll maintain it all year, but I mean, he looks awesome. I mean, Derek's been kind of banged up. We've had, pretty mediocre quarterback play, whether it's Carr, Winston. I mean, it's been pretty mediocre. I mean, that's why I want to look. I mean, here's my thing with Carr too this week, dude. This has got to be a game where he steps it up. You got a depleted defense. He's got the donut, they're saying, on his shoulder. I'm hoping that doesn't impact his throwing ability. But let's be real. He even said it himself. He shouldn't have probably even been out there last week. He wasn't close to 100%.
Then why is he out there?
I blame that on coaching, man. I think something's got to come back. You're the leader of the ship, Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. These guys,
Dave.
Look,
I know I'm not beating this dead horse. It's like, and I'm being serious when I say this. I get the Jameis Winston. It's like they don't want Jameis to step on that field because they're gonna get. If he goes out there and balls out and does something,
he's not, dude. He's not. I don't even want to spend time.
Listen, I'm not saying he is.
Listen, guys.
I'm not saying he is.
Listen. Jameis is not an option. Jameis is like, let's get that out of it. Let's sweep that under the rug and throw it into the river.
I'd rather see the third string guy. If we're going to lose, you might as well try.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying he is going to ball out. I said if he does, then you have a problem.
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't think you do. I don't think Jameis is any different who he's been. I mean, we've seen this guy for 9 years. He's the same inconsistent dude that he's been.
All right, listen. All right, Carl gets hurt. Where we go from here then? Come on. What you gonna do?
Honestly, I would put Taysom Hill in. Honestly, and I swear by it. I will stay by it.
That's foolish.
But how is it foolish, Richie? Let's go look at the first four starts in their career.
Because Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback.
So he's not an NFL quarterback, but listen, in his first four starts, look, through 9 games. Let's put the stats up. Let's put up the first 9 freaking games. Taysom Hill versus Jameis Winston. And you're going to be shocked about the outcome. You're going to be shocked about the outcome.
Then why didn't Sean Payton make him a starting quarterback then?
He gave him an opportunity, and he didn't win the job. No doubt about it. I mean, Jameis had every – listen, here's the problem here. You got Jameis Winston first overall pick.
Why did he win the job then?
Hold on, Richie. Let me get this through. Hold on. Let me talk, man. We're going all over each other. Look. Jameis was a top overall pick. He had 5 years as a starter. Taysom was this guy who was this journeyman, had a little bit of a odd upbringing into the NFL. He had a lot of injuries coming out of BYU. Listen, Jameis Winston should be ashamed of himself for even having to compete with a guy who comes out of nowhere. And yet the competition was pretty damn stiff. It came down to the Jacksonville preseason game. Sean Payton said it himself. If you watch the camp videos, if you watch the first 2 preseason games, him and Winston were right at each other's neck. I mean, y'all can go pull it up. If people have short memories on other podcasts, they can go pull all this up. It was that close.
Dave, you need to stop with the stats. What I'm saying is
here's my thing.
If you lose to a job legitimately, head-to-head to a guy, then you're not the better quarterback.
No, you're not. But here's my thing. But I want to look at this. Through 9 starts. Pull this stat up. Fatty, go find it. Go pull it up wherever you want to pull it up. Through 9 games, Jameis was 5-4. Taysom was 7-2. Taysom had better yards per game.
I'm not going by records. I'm not.
Hold on. But let's we're talking about he's not an NFL quarterback, but he's got a higher completion percentage, which is one of the most important stats as a quarterback. He's got better yards per game overall. He's got the touchdowns is in favor of Jameis because he had that 5 touchdown game that Sean crafted for him when he had 100 freaking yards passing in week 1 when Green Bay owned Aaron Rodgers that game. Because let's be real, there's naive ass Saints fans that want to say, 14-3. He had 5 touchdowns inside the 4 of them inside the 8 yard line.
You say all his stats, but Sean Payton said, "I'm the head coach. I know who's the better quarterback. I'm playing a better quarterback."
Well, he did. I mean, and he obviously Sean Payton left because he felt he didn't have the right guy there. I mean, maybe he didn't like Taysom. He wanted to give Taysom a shot. Taysom was more his guy than Jameis ever was.
Taysom was
and if
his
anybody
guy.
Doesn't know that, they're not paying attention.
Taysom was his guy, but yet he said, "You're not the better quarterback."
And Taysom didn't come through. Look, Richie, I agree. Taysom didn't come. He gave Taysom the opportunity, and Taysom couldn't beat Jameis out. Jameis must have bought Marquez Callaway, a gift bag after that game, because if you go back to that Jacksonville preseason game that decided the starting quarterback job, Marquez Callaway made 2 of the best catches I've ever seen any Saints receiver ever make that helped propel Jameis into that starting role.
I get what you're saying, but yet
I'm just saying they're closer than what you think. Everybody keeps saying, he's not a freaking quarterback. Look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. I like winning. Taysom wins more than Jameis does. It's that simple.
Listen, I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying I like winning. I don't care if fucking the Australian punter has to get out there and play quarterback. If he wins, I'm sticking with him.
I promise you, they would rather Jameis out there.
That's great. Now, I don't think it says. Look, man, I'm just saying this. It's funny because the offense, and I've heard people say this, when Taysom comes into the game, the offense looks like it has more rhythm. When he's throwing the ball, when he's doing things. The offense has never had rhythm the last 2 years with Dalton, with Jameis. It's had more rhythm with Taysom and Teddy Bridgewater, of all people, besides Drew Brees. I would say this right now, even Derek Carr included, The offense hasn't had the same rhythm that it did with the Peyton Breeze era. Closest thing has been Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. The offense is choppy with Winston. It was choppy with Andy Dalton. It's choppy with Derek Carr.
But well, you want to go stats? Jameis Winston's stats are better than Derek Carr's. I'm sorry.
Where? Not over the career. They're not over the course of their career.
The first 5 games, Jameis thought his stats are better than Derek Carr. Sorry.
Well, they are. They are. I mean, I'm not saying that, but listen. And it's not. And look, a lot of it had to do with Sean Payton that first game.
Derek Carr has the better weapons than Jameis did.
No, Jameis had. Look, Jameis in Tampa. That's what I want to say. Back to the Jameis excuse.
He did not have Michael Thomas, and he did not have Sheree.
Wait. So say it again.
I'm saying Derek Carr has the better weapons at receiver right now than Jameis did back then.
Oh no, he does absolutely. I mean, with a
right now, no, he does now.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Yet,
but Jameis, hey, look, Rich, but we're acting like. But here's my problem: we're acting like Jameis came in and rocked the shit. This guy came in and he absolutely sucked. He sucked like Carr's been sucking. He didn't do anything. He couldn't even muster up one scoring drive in the second half of a game that Carr left him. That was a 17-0 advantage. It's not like Jameis comes in and throws one ball, it's picked off. Y'all acting like this guy comes in and works freaking miracles. I see more with Taysom Hill playing quarterback than I do with any of them right now. I'm honest. I mean, he completes everything. And
if Taysom Hill comes in and he don't do bad, then you go to Jameis, and Jameis go say, "Screw you."
Jameis is not an option. Jameis will not be here next year. I will bet anybody wants to bet me. I will throw $500 on top of it. Jameis Winston will not be a New Orleans Saints quarterback next year. I will mark it down. His contract is up. He will go take a shot somewhere else and try to fight for a starting job.
Don't tell nobody that.
Well, why? Why? He is not going to be. The only reason he's here right now is if you cut him, you don't gain any cap space.
Listen to me, because there are reports that they are giving him an extension.
There's no extension. Jameis is not getting an extension. Okay. You got cap. Okay. You're in cap hell right now. You can't pay a backup quarterback $9 million who you know is not a starting caliber NFL quarterback.
I get what you're saying, but if they give an extension, that speaks volumes.
Remember what I told you?
Listen, I've been right about. I've had this argument with Soul, with those guys on that podcast. Me and my old partner on Saints.
Okay, Dave. So what
we beat this dead horse. And I mean, obviously,
I get what you say, but what are you?
I'm just saying, is he starting for any NFL team? He's in his prime. He is not starting for one NFL team in the past few years.
If they give him an extension, what does that say about them?
He gets an extension. I'll eat my words, but he won't get an extension. Okay. I never heard one bit of that. I never heard anything about that. It makes zero. Look, Richie, it makes absolutely 0 sense to give him an extension. You know why? Because look, Carr. I'm not saying I'm waving a flag for Derek Carr here, because I'm not. But you're in bed with Carr for the next 2 years. Look at the dead money on that contract. You cannot afford an $8 to $10 million backup.
$9 million to be your backup.
Yeah, exactly, Jameis. Well, you can't afford $9 million as a backup when you're in cap hell.
Why did they do it?
Huh?
Why did they?
They're doing it right now, but they're not going to be able to do it next year because Mickey's kicking money down the road like he always does.
I'm saying, why did they do it now?
Why do they do it now? I mean, listen. Okay, so so hold on. Here, let me get back to this real quick. Okay. Jameis, I don't know why we spend so much time on like the 38th best quarterback in the league.
Because we want to explain to you. They're giving a guy $9 million, but yet you say the organization don't want him. We don't understand that.
Richie, they gave him back in the offseason. They told him to explore other options. Listen, he signed a 2-year deal. They were on the hook for the dead money. So whether he got cut in August or he played, he was owed the same amount of money. We were getting no cap freedom because of the way the contract was set up. So we were paying. So basically, if we cut him, we're still giving him $8 million or whatever it is. If we keep him, you're filling a roster spot. You got a decent backup quarterback. Let's be real. He's a decent backup quarterback. I'm not trashing Jameis. I'm telling you who he is. And the league's telling you who he is. I'm not like blowing rainbows and want to. I mean, let's be real. The Saints fan base, 60% of them think Jameis is a tool. 40% think that he's got some untapped potential at the age of 30 that we haven't seen, which I don't understand.
I will tell you this. There are several reports that teams have reached out to the Saints. Listen for Jameis. They wanted to trade for Jameis right now, and the Saints said no.
I mean, listen, I think the Saints, here's the problem. They're not going to trade him right now.
Why not? Why not? Let him go.
Because you got a quarterback that's dealing with a shoulder injury. You can
trade him and get rid of all the dead money and everything.
Listen, I'm just telling you this. He won't be here next year. Y'all can throw – there's no extension that's going to happen. I can promise you that. There's no extension that will happen this season.
Listen,
man, I know how general managers work. I'm not saying I'm right about everything.
I'm sorry to listen to me. Listen. I'm gonna say this very clearly, and I'm being serious. I've heard it from people in this organization. Jameis is going to be around for a while, Dave.
No,
I don't. It makes 0 sense.
The organization as a whole loves Jameis.
Give me 3 reasons why Jameis stays here.
Because they like him.
and I'll give you 20 why he should be gone.
Because they like him.
Richie,
like him. Look, like there's a lot of Thomas Morstead was the most likable guy.
You don't understand. They really like this young man. I'm telling you.
All right,
dude, they don't like him for what? Because he's a friendly guy and he holds the door open for the lady that runs the equipment room. No, dude, nobody's keeping a player paying you $8 million because you're a friendly guy. You just
said he's a backup. He's a good backup. You just said that.
He's a decent backup, but you cannot afford him at $8 million when you got all these holes you got to address.
He may not do $8 million. He may do $4 million.
Hey, if Jameis, only way, and I'll say this, the only way Jameis comes back, he will have to take a significant pay cut. Significant. Trust me, he will not make close to what you cannot afford him at that price. It's salary cap football. A lot of people don't read into the salary cap details. They don't. Trust me, I had arguments on other podcasts about how we're going to lose Hendrickson and Williams. How many times did I bring it up?
We're going to be in salary cap hell if David Carr don't pan out.
I've been trying to.
Well, absolutely, Richie. I agree. But here's the beauty about that salary cap hell. It disappears after next year because his dead money is heavy this year and next year.
I don't want to go through this again next year.
No, but I mean, you're forced. Well, you're married to Derek Carr. That's what I'm trying to explain. People don't understand. Jameis Winston, you could walk away from him next year and get that $8 million back on your salary cap sheet. Derek Carr's money isn't going anywhere. So the organization they're making a commitment to Carr. You got to ride this out. We got to stop coming out every week saying, oh, well, man, maybe go to Jameis. No, you're going to Derek Carr, and maybe if you want to blend Taysom in a little bit, that's the plan. But you're not. Jameis is not going to be the starter of this team. That is not going to happen.
I think if shame on the Saints organization if they putting a hurt quarterback out there.
Well, no, I let Richie. I agree completely. I mean, I wasn't opposed to giving Jameis a start last week as a backup. That's what you should. You're in there to do. Get a spot start once in a while. But I'm not committing to Jameis as an every game quarterback. A spot start last week would have made a lot of sense. You go maybe 60-70% Jameis, 30% Taysom Hill. I was cool with that.
I honestly don't think Derek Carr makes it through this game.
What's that now?
I don't think he might not make it through this game if that showed it that
bad.
Look,
but here I don't understand the negativity. We got to rally behind our quarterback. He is our quarterback, no matter what. He is our quarterback. We are paying him a lot of money. Any fan that's rooting against Derek Carr is out of their mind right now. He's got to play better. He's got to be better. I'm not saying this guy deserves any praise at all, but he's got to be better, and this is his game to do it. No doubt about it. Listen, last week I almost want to give him a free pass because he shouldn't even freaking been out there. You know what I'm saying? That was poor freaking coaching. Dennis Allen. Poor decision. You got a guy who's hurt, leaves the game, one practice, and you put him out there.
The same analogy that you use for Jameis, you can use for Carr because Carr hasn't been very good neither over the years.
No, I mean Carr's got to be better, dude. Carr's got to be better. No doubt about it. I'm not waving a flag for Carr. I'm just saying I think this whole Jameis versus Carr thing I think it's slowly disappearing. I think fans are awakening a little bit to it. Listen, your Carr is your quarterback.
But you on one side of it. I can sit here and say they both.
I am on one side because I'm gonna tell you why I'm on one side of it. Because the organization's on one side.
I'll say they both suck. You won't say that. Sorry.
They're both playing bad. Jameis is not. I'll take Carr over Jameis career-wise. Absolutely.
Both of them are terrible quarterbacks. That's it.
I don't think they're terrible.
Banging down the door to sign Carr. Let's be real. They weren't. There were not teams banging down his door to get to.
Oh, no. Carr had more people signing. Yeah, the New York Jets were trying to chase Derek Carr. Nobody was signing Jameis Winston.
Two teams, but that's two teams out of a whole organization.
Everybody needs quarterbacks. No, I mean, but Richie, but then when we talk about how many teams need quarterbacks, I mean, there's a lot of teams. They had 4 teams that were projecting to draft quarterbacks that are starting rookie quarterbacks.
The New York Giants could have signed Derek Carr.
No, the New York Giants like Daniel Jones. They gave him $160 million.
I'm saying before that happened, Dave, they could have said, we're not giving.
But Richie, they liked him. He got them to the playoffs. They were re-signing Jones. He was 26, 27 years old.
So you're telling me Daniel Jones is better than David Carr?
No, but I'm telling you, listen, here's the problem is you got to understand what organization's doing. I'm not agreeing with what they did, but I understand what they did. I didn't say I would ever do it, but you got to understand why they did it. They see this quarterback they invested in.
But what Fatty is saying, there were very few teams that wanted Carr is what we're saying.
Who the fuck signed Winston? Who called about Winston? No one.
We're not talking about Winston.
I'm just saying, but why are we always talking about this? Like Derek Carr. The Jets wanted Derek Carr before Aaron Rodgers came into the picture. So, I mean, listen, we're not the only teams that wanted him. Just like Drew Brees. They had the Miami Dolphins. Drew Brees didn't have 100 teams knocking at the door. His teams are drafting quarterbacks. They have quarterbacks.
Listen to me. The Jets wanted Derek Carr over Zach Wilson. We get that. Zach Wilson's a bad quarterback. Name some other teams that wanted Derek Carr. That's what we're saying.
But okay, so let's what teams? Tell me a team that needed Derek Carr that doesn't have a starting quarterback and that wasn't intending on drafting quarterback.
You mean to tell me all the bad quarterback in the NFL days somebody can't use Derek Carr?
Okay, so here's my problem. This is one thing you guys got to understand. This is one thing. Let me get this out the way. And I'm explaining this. I'll write a freaking class on this.
Tampa said we're going to take Baker Mayfield over you, Carr.
Absolutely, because you know what they're doing. Okay, so you know why? First off, they don't have the cap space. First off, they don't. Look at what Baker Mayfield's making this year as opposed to Derek Carr.
Because nobody believed Derek Carr was worth the money.
Here's my thing. You want the answer? I'll give you all the answer in 1 minute time. I'll give you the answer. Cap space factors into it. You got to have a team that's got about $30 million to run around with cap space. That's not easy. A team that doesn't have a starting quarterback. There's not many of those. Teams that aren't planning on drafting a quarterback. So you're already taking a lot of teams out the mix, okay? There's probably 20 teams in this league that were secure with who their quarterback was. You got another 5 or 6 teams that can't do it because of the cap. You got another 4 or 5 teams that's planning on drafting a quarterback. And why draft a quarterback? You know why? Because you got a guy that's 23 years old. You can mold him in who you want him to be. And this is what the Saints drop the ball on. We talk about it all the time. You got the rookie contract scale where a guy's making like $5 or $6 million as opposed to $30 or $35 million. So you got more cap freedom. So teams aren't jumping to go sign free agent quarterbacks. They're not.
But
I'm saying, we're talking about Carr like he's been total shit his career. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been bad either.
But you know what? There was also a lot of teams that said, no, we don't want Derek Carr on our team, no matter what the situation.
Who? But I'm saying, but what teams? Okay, we talk about Tampa. Tampa didn't have the cap.
You act like Derek Carr was this great quarterback in the Raiders. Come on. The Raiders said we don't. The Raiders said, we don't want you. Goodbye.
Yeah, and the Raiders are the worst organization in football almost the last 20 years, man. How many times have the Raiders made the playoffs this century?
I'm just saying, it's bad when your best friend says you're even bad, dude. That's bad.
Listen, dude, he's not he's better than that's what I understand. Like, we trash Carr, but we uplift Jameis Winston, who's like the 40th best quarterback in the league.
I literally just said they both. I just said they both bad.
They're both not good, but Derek Carr's a little better of an option. Let's be real.
don't want that.
Derek Carr's had better numbers. He's gotten his team to the playoffs before.
I don't want the guy that's a little bit. I'd rather just keep Andy Dalton and let him play because Andy Dalton played better.
And look, hey, Richie, I'm the guy that fought.
All right, okay. Can we agree to this? Andy Dalton played better than Derek Carr last year.
No doubt about it. I think he was better. I think Andy Dalton was a lot better than Jameis or Derek Carr.
So y'all ragged me on the beginning of this show and early in the season when I said that Derek Carr. Listen to me. I said on the show that Derek Carr was a slight upgrade to Andy Dalton. That's what I said. And y'all said I was wrong.
I'm okay with that. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. The problem is, though, your organization is
so you keep Andy Dalton. You keep Andy Dalton. You save cap space and everything else. That's
look, Richie. I freaking agree. I totally agree. I think you could have gone that route and you could have drafted a quarterback, but you also could have did what I asked them to do last year: rebuild this thing and tear it down in 21. 22. I'm sorry. Yeah. Tear this thing down. Okay, how many times I talk about Sam Howell? I don't know how many people watch the Thursday night football game, but that guy could be your starting quarterback right now.
Yeah, you're right. Well, listen, guys, thank y'all for joining us. This is a short show. I love my boy David the Voice. He always gives it. Fatty, thank you for doing it for us. You know that, man. Listen, make sure y'all go watch the Bayou Geeks. Like them, share the page and all that.
New episode
hopefully, Dave, hopefully we get this win. We may come on later, depending on
absolutely,
where we
man. We need one today.
All right, my brother. Listen, who that? Y'all have a great Sunday.
All right, guys.
Wait, hold on before you go. Y'all definitely want to do one today? I
don't know. I'll let you know.
Well, you going to Gretna Fest, aren't you?
I know. Yes, I am. So that's probably not. So
okay.
All right, brother.
All right,
later.
Later.